All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series, race number 3 of the playoffs here, getting to the penultimate race. Next week will be the season finale to crown our champion. But of course, before they can get to that race, they got to get through tonight. So drivers putting down their qualifying laps as we speak to see who will wind up on top for tonight's event. And say right now, I see some drivers starting to roll out onto the field here, onto the grid, I should say, to get that lap underway here. So what we will do first, though, is let's go ahead and pull up our point standings coming into tonight's event. And it will be right now Gabe Butler with a 1-point lead over that number 18 of Zachary Workman. Zach getting the big win last week, and JD Crow only 9 points out of the lead. Right now those three are kind of sneaking away a little bit, but not too far back in fourth. Only 16 out of lead is Vicente Guerrero, and then just a teeny bit further back you got the 23 of Dean Wilkinson. The 23 out is Dean Wilkinson, 27 out Randy Minor, 29 out is Robert DuPont, and then unfortunately missing last week, so showing 51 out is Cody Nagels. So probably out of the running for the championship for Cody. However, he can definitely play a big role for his teammates of Zach Workman and Vicente Guerrero. So watch for that number 06 to kind of be a big team player here tonight. And of course, maybe getting the option. Maybe his best option is going to be to try to steal some points away from his competition. Maybe getting the win himself in tonight's event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's always a lot of things to talk about. One thing is a new thing to talk about tonight, and that is fuel mileage. We've seen the last few races, it's been a little bit on the fuel saving side, but admin saw that. They said, let's make some changes, and they've done so. So now there will be no fuel saving. The fuel tanks are a little smaller tonight in this one, which means guarantee 3-stop race. So these guys are going to have to basically fight tooth and nail all race long here to try to see if they can put themselves in the front after that final pit stop to try to win here tonight at Talladega. And of course, as always, 2 fast pairs available for the drivers, as well as, of course, as always, our 3 attempts of a green-white checkered finish. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday afternoon, early evening, and let's say get ready to enjoy a fun one here tonight. So right now, looking at the weather, track temp, everything looks good right now. It's 69 degrees ambient, 75 degrees on the track. Only going to get warmer because right now on the race time, you see over on the right side showing at 9:08 a.m. So pretty early for these folks over here in Talladega, Alabama, but think they won't be complaining because it's going to be a lot of fun with these drivers. So of course that's going to just go up a little bit as the race progresses, but I don't think it's going to play too big of a role. We can of course mention last week there was some weather was a potential concern. The temperatures affecting those trucks on Thursday night's Superspeedway truck race. Kind of mentioned the drivers talking about how it actually really kind of turned it into an inside line preferred race, which usually it's more of the outside line. So that'll be fun to see if that comes into play here tonight as well. Got a few cars, I should say, still on track, putting the lap times down. And I say we see one driver here pretty much waiting till the very end to put his lap down, see if maybe that weather is going to turn for the better for him. You see right there that one of Gabe Butler going to come across line, finish his qualifying lap, see if he can put himself at the top of the board. So we'll have to wait and see and find out who was our pole sitter for tonight. I can tell you though, we have about 11 cars within 0.05 of a second of one another here in qualifying. So these guys running very tight, and that's pretty much what we expect to see here with these drivers here at Green White Checker TV with the Area 51 Racing League. And I believe with that, qualifying has completed. So we're going to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. As you can see there on the grid, so you're going to have your question answered right off the bat. And we'll pull up our timing screen so you can see where your favorite drivers start off tonight. But it will be Gabe Butler on the pole tonight by 7 thousandths of a second over Jimmy Crow Jr. Cody Nagels there 15 thousandths off in third. Robert DuPont fourth. Dean Wilkinson a top 5 qualifying spot. Then you got JD Crow, Eric Lurie, Bud Steele, Randy Miner, Zach Workman rounding out our top 5. Vicente Guerrero there, see in 11th with Robert Rock in the 12th position. And we'll jump over now from 13th on back here. You've got Robert Jordan there in the 74, Peter DeBorgia making it back into the grid. Always love seeing Peter on track there. And also talking about drivers making their return here, Sebastian Marin hopping on board here tonight in that number 23 machine. We know he's fast, so we'll see what he's able to do tonight and see maybe he's going to play second fiddle, or if he's going to maybe try to get greedy at the end, get a win maybe tonight in his inaugural run for the season. Seth Gruver always wanted to watch as well in that 02, and then the 2 of Brian Wang, Thursday night's winner there in that number 2 machine, so he's always one to keep an eye on as well. And then you got some of the other drivers here that will always be ones to watch as well, including Paul Turner in the 4, Jay Hilliard in the 59, and then Bob Fitzgerald in that number 08 starting in 20th position. So again, you can watch the ticker up top, and of course once we switch over to the ticker on the side, you will see those playoff drivers highlighted in green. So those are the 8 playoff drivers here tonight in this event. And you can see, I was saying, they're spread out throughout the field here, but importantly, we talked about the bonus points. Gabe Butler had a 1-point lead coming into tonight's race. Turn it into 2 points now as he was able to win the pole position, so that is 1 bonus point for that number 1 machine. So that's exactly what that one wanted to do here. Next, of course, on his list is going to be getting a lap lead to add 1 more point to his kind of commanding, to his command, I should say, to try to help him build that lead back up.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks.
And speaking of Mr. Wagner, he is rolling on here. Good evening, Mr. Matt.
Oh, it's a very rainy evening here in Knoxville. Thunderstorm and lightning, so I hope we don't have another episode like we did in week 3 where I lost everything.
Well, hopefully not, but if not, I'll say if worst case scenario, I think everything's okay over here. It's a little bit warm. It's cooling off earlier this week, though, so that's always good to have. So we're back to it, Matt. Somehow we're in the second to last playoff race. Mentioned Gabe Butler has a 1-point lead coming into tonight, wins the pole position, so turn that 1-point lead into a 2-point lead for that number 1 Guinness machine. And of course, going to be now going after a lap lead bonus point. So the big talk, though, I think tonight, Matt, though, is going to be the fuel mileage change. No more fuel saving for these guys under green. These guys are going to be going for it right off the bat because it's a guaranteed 3-stop race. The only potential snag could be the timing of that yellow if one comes out. I think that will be the possibility, but we've seen last week's race where it was right on the edge of 2-stopper or 3-stopper race, and everybody's going to want to take 1 pit stop away if you can when you're going as fast as these guys are. So I think it was a great call by the admins to make that decision, so definitely applauding Charles and them for making that change to get that squared away. And these guys let them go racing and not even have to worry about the fuel gauge now. They can just go out and race. And so I think that's what everybody else is going to be wanting to see here tonight.
I noticed a couple drivers are hitting the bottom of the apron for the parade lap. It's quite interesting.
I think that's just old habits die hard. I think you save fuel pretty much now just all the time. I think if you have the opportunity, you're going to save. And so I think that's what we're seeing there by Gabe and a few of those other drivers. So that being said, though, Matt, we're coming through into that restart zone here. That's going to hand it over to our flagman before it switches over to the nose of that number 1 of Gabe Butler as a green flag flies in the Geico restart zone. And we are underway. 78 laps is our scheduled distance here as Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crow lead it through the gears here to head into turn number 1 for the first time.
Right away, I'm looking at the 40 car. He is dropping it. Looks like immediately toward the back, pretty much intentionally.
Yeah, Peter hasn't been able to race a lot. He's had a lot of real life things going on. So definitely, again, big congratulations to him and his wife with the birth of their son. So, but yeah, I think he's able to make it here tonight. So I think he's just kind of getting his feet wet, get comfortable. He's very familiar and he runs these super speedway races plenty, but hasn't been here at Area 51 for a little while. So probably just wants to get the lay of the land, get familiar with the drivers. But up front, it looked like Dean was going to play nice with Gabe Butler, maybe push Gabe to lead in lap number 1. But Dean's got other thoughts in mind. He's going to try to lead that lap himself as he's now got a big push from Cody Nagels and give lap 1 to that 55 of Dean Wilkinson as he now jumps in front of the one entering turn 1.
Speaking of giving birth, I want to do a special shout out to big old Kevin Bartelt. He is a happy father and just gave birth to a healthy baby girl. I'd like to congratulate him.
Yeah, good friend of ours. Yeah, so everybody's doing well. It's very exciting. Hopefully they're back home. I haven't had a chance to chat with them at all. Obviously, probably a little bit preoccupied. Saying the other one I got to mention, Matt, with all the fun things going on is say slightly belated, but a happy birthday to the old man Jim Brooks. As they turned the big 7-0 yesterday, so I got to spend some time with him yesterday, and so got to see him and it's doing well. And yeah, it's always fun to spend some time with him. As you see, Gabe leads lap number 2 there. Just squeezes in there. That was tight.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm looking on the outside. Look at the Sebastian Marin in 23. And that looks like the 0-2 Seth Gruver on the 3rd lane on the outside.
That is indeed that McDonald's all-day breakfast machine of Seth Gruver. So we talked about Sebastian. Was he going to lay low, or was he going to kind of go after it and be greedy? So it's not Sebastian if he's not being racy. So you're right, though. Those two getting hooked up top, and they're going to do what they do best, and that's make a big race out of this thing. So they're always fun to watch here. But dropping back just a little bit through the turns. But again, that momentum shift off the exit, that's where the 3rd lane really starts to prevail. So right now, though, 55 Dean Wilkinson, the one to Gabe Butler, they have each led a lap, so give them a bonus point as well. And as we mentioned, though, right now, the 2 bonus points basically net to that number 1 machine, as he has been able to lead. And also, I should say, lead and get the pole as well. So now we see Cody Nagels working at top.
To the back here, maybe. Is he going to?
I don't think they want to drop to the back. Oh, you mean for Gabe? Yeah, it's a good. Well, I don't think he needs to anymore. I think the fuel. I think fuel save's out of the question. So he might be thinking max points here. You've got a great pusher behind you with Dean Wilkinson, and then behind Dean you got two very, very talented and committed, I feel like, teammates. The 5 of JD Crow, the 071 of Eric Laurie. So I feel pretty comfortable if you're the one. But look, there goes Dean again. And I think Dean's thinking the same thing. I want to be up front. I want to lead. I want to get max points in my 55 because, again, this thing is not over. This championship is far from said and done. Of course, always bonus points, the big story in the evenings, and as well as the incident-free race, Matt. If you can have 0x after tonight's race, which basically means no car contact that kind of causes a spin or incident, can't go through the grass or anything like that, you will get 3 bonus points on top of your total points. So that goes a long way. So it's risk reward right now if you want to be up front pushing. But at the same time, it does work out pretty well for you. But man, Gabe and Dean, they are racy right off the block.
Just keep in mind, I'll be focused on this. The 40 car of Peter Victor and the 18 is Zach Workman. They are teammates in another league. So I'll be interested to see if Peter does help Zach toward the end of this race. Just keeping in mind of that.
Yeah, so they're hanging out with each other right now. You talk about the aggressiveness up front with Gabe and Dean kind of switching spots back and forth up front. Say Zach Workman, though, he's playing a little bit more cautious. It looks like Dean's decided he's changing his tactics. He's going to drop to the back in that 55 as well. And that's going to promote Cody Nagels to the front. Got a great push from Jimmy Crow Jr. right at the perfect opportunity, as now he takes the point on that inside line in the 06. And that's now promoted the 07 on the middle lane of Robert DuPont. He's got Bud Steele behind him. They're going to try to make a charge, but not so fast. There goes Gabe Butler. Got the run, jumps to the top. He's going to try to get that 07 to push him.
Wow, what a change in pace compared to last week. I am pretty excited. I'm just looking forward to the first round of pit stops because, as we saw last week, Gael, pit stops do make a difference in mistakes. You can't have no mistakes.
And that's exactly right. And also the next thing also is going to be what's the fuel mileage with this new fuel tank change. So that's something that's going to be a bit of an unknown for us, possibly an unknown for the drivers. Ooh, a little bit of wobbling there up at the front. Everybody hangs on to it, but that was always a little bit of a tense moment. But yeah, we'll have to watch the fuel. We talked about before they could go about 26 right on the edge laps of fuel to make it to that two-stop strategy. So, I mean, we know it's going to be less than 26, but we don't know. Will it be 20? Could it be 21? Is it even in the teens? So, let's see when these guys start to pit and see, is it a scheduled pit stop for basically maxing out the fuel, or maybe these guys are going to try to break it up into 3 even stops to make it to the end. So it's going to be fun to see what the official decision is for some of these drivers.
I did run a couple of test laps out there by myself. I did have a little bit of 8 race lab apps. I think it said 21 to 22 laps. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah, well, it's and then probably if you're in the draft, it's going to get better than that. But if you're in the back,
yeah,
or if you're up front, I'm sorry, it'll probably be exactly what you said. And I was doing the quick numbers on the fuel mileage, and yeah, basically you need to go about 19.5 if you want to split this run into thirds, basically pitting the 3 times. So, like you said, about lap
what a move by Seth Gruver right to the middle.
Yeah, for a second it looked like Sebastian Marin was thinking about 4 wide, thought better of it, but yeah, 19-20 laps on field, Matt, would be the way to split it pretty much evenly to get to the end on 3 stops. So the question mark will be, yeah, can you go, let's say, if you can go, let's say, lap 23, maybe 24, potentially even, how much further can you go? Maybe how much less fuel can you take on one of your final stops? Because, of course, the big talking point, of course, is if you can maybe make it a 1-can stop versus having to put that second can in. That will save a lot of time on one of those pit stops. But, man, right now, though, I think the decision that was made, though, has definitely been the right decision because, man, these guys are going after it here. Big moves by all of our front runners. Ooh, close there by Jay Hilliard there, and Sebastian Marin just about touched entering turn number 1. But you got Bud Steele now leading that outside line in that 6 machine with help from that 59 of Jay Hilliard.
Look at that outside momentum. It's just launching this Bud Steele all the way up toward the front. No, he cannot clear the 07 of Robert DuPont there.
Yeah, it was close. Almost a little bit of contact entering turn 3. I think that kind of really choked up the outside line's momentum as, J.D. Crow just snuck to the outside in front of the 101 of Randy Miner. That was very tight in that middle lane. These guys are getting very racy here, Matt. So I think taking that fuel mileage away from them has just really opened the door. These guys said, let's go at it. As Robert DuPont just squeezes in front of the 1 of K. Butler to take the lead. And for a second, look like Seth Gruver is going to try to split the 07 to the in the middle to the outside. But the 07 found a hole to sneak into on the bottom. So here's the 23 and the 02 again. They get hooked back up, this time in the second lane. And I think this is going to be the push that they were looking for.
Speaking of that, is a bonus point for Mr. Robert DuPont, which he led that last time by.
Yeah, it's true. I say Robert, again, also one of our playoff drivers right now. So he add him to the list of our playoff drivers leading lap with the 1 and the 55. So great job by those guys. I think the 06 of Cody Nagels also had a bonus point for leading a lap as well. But like I said, there's definitely kind of 2 tails right now of this race. You've got up front, these guys have been fighting and pushing and going 3 wide pretty much lap after lap. But again, everybody's got different strategies. Me, I'd be going the Zach Workman route here, Matt, in that 18 machine.
Me too.
Stay in the back, give yourself plenty of room in front of you. You got a guy you trust right behind you with that 40 of Peter DeBorgia. So, yeah, I'm definitely on board with this one. On the decision side, and saying you also got some good help not too far in front of you as well. That number 2 of Brian Wang winner on Thursday night, saying somehow they were able to replicate that beautiful truck. It looks like that one on Thursday night. They've got it over onto the Xfinity car side here as well. So, say Brian got he's rocking the what do you call it, the headlight eyelashes once again here tonight.
But that laughing clown kind of scares me a little bit of how far back he's running off of Robert Rock, the last person in the lead draft.
Yeah, a little nervous about Paul Turner, you're right, because he's about 6/10 off. Although I'm watching the ticker, it's going back the right way. It's now down to about 5/10. So, yeah, you can fall back a little bit, but when you get to 5/6 back and you're by yourself, that's a very, very risky situation. So, luckily, he's able to close back up. I think he's going to be okay. I think it may have also been Robert Rock playing nice, also rolling back a little bit off Peter DeBorgia to pick him back up. So definitely nice nice from them to work together there. And yeah, good evening, Kevin. Glad to see you over here watching tonight. I'll say right now, Cody rolling in the 7th spot. Right now, kind of locked on the inside lane. Got a lap letter earlier, but we were mentioning earlier in the broadcast. Have a feeling Cody's probably going to be living on the teammate side of things here, probably working with those guys. With Limitless, the 14, of course, as well, with Vicente Guerrero, and looking for and the 18, of course, of Zach Roman. Trying to find that second car. I say lost track for a second. As unfortunately missing last week definitely cost him a bunch of points in that 06. But you never know. I'll say we mentioned as well. I mean, the best chance for his teammates might be for him to win the race and keep the competition behind him without collecting as many bonus points. So definitely one to watch here, as we've always kind of expect to see Cody up front at some point in these races. Right now, though, Matt, that third line, it's kind of settled down for the moment. They've kind of gone back to 2x2 as they come through here to start lap number 15.
It's pretty much, it kind of died down there, but all that 3 wides have kind of died down just a little bit. Right now, just waiting for the time for everybody's got to make that first green flag pit stops, because no one knows when these guys got to pit. Maybe 2021. That's, like I said, that's my guess.
Yeah, I think lap 19-20 would probably be about the scheduled time to at least split. Like I said, split it evenly in the 3 pit stops. But again, I mean, we might see some strategies where say, hey, let's pit early on the first stop, then we'll run the next 2 longer, or maybe we run the first 2 long and the third one short. I mean, there's a lot of options here. But yeah, I mean, again, these guys, I think a lot of them, this is the first race of having the adjusted fuel, so I think a lot of these drivers are going to learn on the fly as well to see, hey, how many laps am I saving? Could I maybe make my last stop be a single can of fuel potentially? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of decisions for these drivers to make. You see a lot of guys are starting to think about that third lane, and here they go. It actually looks like the TW guys getting locked up top there. It's going to be Randy Miner leading the way with Dean Wilkinson and Jay Hill. You're going to try to roll that third lane now.
I just say TW Brigade up in the third lane.
Yeah, you can see Dean trying to lock onto that 101, and they've gotten just about to the door of Sebastian Marin. Let's say this is where the momentum is going to start to shift to that outside line. You can see, yeah, there they go. Dean right.
Look at that push. Wow.
It's tight through the tri-oval.
Oh, he was able just to get right in front. He's going to go all the way to the bottom. Looks like he changed his mind. Looks like they're going to go 4 wide.
Oh, contact.
Oh, we got a wreck. No, he saves it. Wow,
he's going to have to try to hang on to it. Oh, Seth Gruver, though, unfortunately, he's going to lose the draft there. Let's say we'll check up front, make sure everybody's looking okay. It looks like everything is sorted out there. Unfortunately, though, Seth Gruver got the short end of the stick there. But let's go back and take a look one more time at this contact here. We'll focus on Seth Gruver because that's where we saw it. And you see the 101's clear, and there's the contact. Just wasn't clear of the 02. So he said he almost got to the bottom lane, but then Seth, but great job sliding through the grass, but able to keep it there in one piece. But yeah, unfortunately loses the draft there. So now he's basically got to hope for a yellow at this point, Matt, for Seth. As you can see him rolling around, they're still on the apron, I think. Still building up speed. Actually, I'm sorry, hitting pit road, it looks like, in that number. Make sure I'm live here. Apologies. There we go. Now we're back live. As yeah, you see Seth Gruver hitting pit road here a little early, but I think it might as well minimize the time loss and just kind of cut your losses here early. So we'll see Seth hit pit road, get service done to his car. The hope for him is maybe he can tag on to somebody here to have a chance to kind of get back in a draft at least. But right now, looking at the pit stop, it looks like it's going to be about 10 seconds stops on pit road. And he's going to start rolling off now. But do we see any takers from the leaders? And no takers yet. So they're going to cross here to start lap number 19, Matt. And if Seth's lucky, he might just be able to tag onto the back of this field here because he's starting to see him there in the apron. Trying to build up speed there in the 02. But I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get fully up to song here before the field passes him by.
I think he'll be okay. If he catches right on the back of the 4 car, that
it's going to be tight. He might have a chance.
I think he'd be okay.
So we'll jump back up front here, though, because, again, I think the window's just about open here because, again, they were at – this is 19 now. This would be pitting coming to 20, and this would be in the window to make it on 3 stops. But still no takers, so we know at least the mileage they can go a little further than what we talked about. And so, and again, trying to focus to keep an eye on Seth Gruver. Oh, he's right tantalizingly close right now. He's on the absolute edge of catching that 4 of Paul Turner. Paul's also right on the edge of losing the draft again there to Robert Rock. But now Paul catches back up, and I think Seth's going to tag on as well here. So now for Seth, though, it's going to be one of those things. He's going to need someone to make a bit of a mistake coming in or out of pit road, so he has just someone to work with. Because usually these pit stops, you lose just under a lap, basically. So, yeah, he's going to need a little bit of help on this one. But right now, though, these TW guys, though, they're holding strong on this inside line, though, Matt, that 55 and the 101, which is very important right now as they're about to hit pit stops.
You know what?
There we go.
This may not hurt him. I think Seth might come down with some of those leaders. If you really think about it, he'll be the first car lap down. If a caution does come out and he gets his lap back, he'd be not risking of going 2 down.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the strategy is. You saw 4 drivers there on pit road: Robert DuPont, Dean Wilkinson, Bud Steele, Randy Miner. They've all hit pit road, and actually looking at Seth Gruver, looks like he's actually just fallen off the back of those guys. So you might be right. This might be his best chances to kind of just pit with these guys. He'll still be a lap down. However, he would at least be kind of cycled towards the front of these guys. But right now would be the only car lap down, because as they come out of 4 here, I can tell you that those 4 drivers that pitted are rolling out of pit road now, led by Robert DuPont. And here comes the next group of cars here, all coming in together. It looks like pretty much all but 2, I think. Man, it is a gaggle. And yeah, I see Seth in there with him as well. And yeah, wow, this is going to be a very busy pit road here, Matt. They got to make sure that they don't step on each other's toes getting into their pit stalls.
No mistakes. That is the clear thing. And it looks like everybody's clean here so far.
Yeah, so far so good, it looks like. See drivers already rolling out of pit road. And we got 2 that saved even further, and they're going to go 1 more lap here. That's going to be Brian Wang, Peter DeBorgia. This could work. We'll have to see what their lap times look like, but they're going to have to really push here hard this lap right now to be able to try to make it and stay with this main pack. So that's going to be the next thing, to see where everybody cycles out with one another. Here these 2 come in. They can hustle it onto pit road now, at least, because it's just 2 of them. So they can be aggressive on the pit entry, try to gain max time here. As you see, definitely woven it down there just in time. So great job by those guys to get that car stopped. Wow, and they're going to get their service done as well here.
That was a good entry by them guys. I'm kind of interested to see where they might come out in comparison.
Yeah, we'll see. Because right now it's Sebastian Marin leading the field back up to speed here. I can confirm, though, that the group that pitted that last time around, they are still in this pack as well. They're just a little bit further back there. A little bit of a separation, but I think we're going to get everybody back together here. But you're right, though. Let's go up and check these guys leaving pit road. There's the 2. There's the 40. And we'll look off the back of Brian Wang, because it's going to be close. I don't think they're going to hold the lead, but I think they should hold the draft here, because, yeah, there they go with big head of steam there. And like you mentioned, though, right there's the O2 right now, the first car 1 down. And actually, Bud Steele back on pit road, I believe, possibly pit exit penalty. I'm not sure if so. Unfortunately, 6 on pit road once again. So not what Bud was looking for in that 6 machinist. He's sitting on pit road. I'm guessing that's probably an unsafe exit.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it. I just don't see it.
But look at this, though, Matt. Zach Work, remember, he was riding in the back for that whole section of the first stint. And now here he is pushing for the lead here, pushing Cody Nagels to try to get Cody to the front. And if he can do so, this will give now Zach an opportunity. Again, he needs to lead a lap here. He's only 1 point behind Gabe coming into tonight. Cody will lead that lap, but now look at this. You got Limitless leading the inside lane, and you got 3 Limitless cars lined up on that outside lane. So this is a great opportunity for that number 18 here. Get that lap lead, get that bonus point, because right now everybody else is just kind of trying to hustle to get back up to the front here. Looking right there, you see Robert DuPont. He's just about to catch up to them. Then you got to go about a second back to that number 2 of Brian Wang. But as I say that, though, there's 18. Clears the 06. He goes down low. I think that's job done for the Limitless guys, given they're right now their highest points runner the front here so he can try to lead a lap. But Sebastian Marin, he's going to try to have none of it. He's going to see if he can steal a point back still from that 18. That lap will go to Zach Workman, so bonus point for the 18. Now let's jump back a little further right now as you see Brian Wang working again with Pierre DeBorge. Again, they went 2 laps further than the first group, 1 lap further than the second group, but they are catching the field. They also have JD Crow for good measure. However, I'm a little nervous here. I don't think Robert Jordan's going to be able to tag onto these guys, unfortunately, so I think he's going to fall off of this draft. And unfortunately, here too, this is not what you expect to see, though. Bob Fitzgerald, Dean Wilkinson, Paul Turner, these 3 also off of the draft right now, but trying to hustle back up there. But right now, unfortunately, they are off the pack. And then, as we mentioned, Bud Steele, that pit penalty he had a little earlier. He's right now also 1 down, unfortunately, with that 40-second stop and hold for that 6 machine.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, I think he's starting to lose time here. Yeah, he's right on the edge of that draft.
Yeah, it's the ticker's gone the wrong way. Yeah. He ran a 50-16 last time. Leaders were a 49-89. So, yeah, he's just finally broken off of that draft. So, the one thing he has going for him is he's only got to fall about 3 seconds before he picks up these 3 drivers right here. And so they'll have a little bit more speed. But up front, though, like I said, after the first round of pit stops, though, Matt, we still have 14 of our 20 in this main pack. 18 of the 20 still on the lead lap. Unfortunately, the 02 and the 6 trapped 1 lap down as we run.
Yep, and it is pretty much all limitless now. It looks like the 18's almost cleared the 23. Looked like he wanted to go to the bottom there. And Zach will lead that lap there.
Yeah, so right now, like I said, a lot of limitless up front. Sebastian Marin. So I'm not sure if he has an official partnership or team association tonight or not. But I mean, it doesn't matter who he's with or what he's running with. It's like he's gonna be up front at some point in this thing. And again, I mean, obviously no rust on that 23 car. He's doing what he does best, and that's be up front and have a chance to win these races. So, however, like we talked about, Matt, we still got 2 more pit stops to go in this thing. Right now, of course, we're about 6-7 laps after our first pit stop. A good chunk of them pitting at 20, 21, then 22. So yeah, so I mean, basically, I think based on that, we expect to see these guys probably once again, probably around lap number 40 or so, will be our second scheduled pit stop here under green flag conditions.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if these guys are changing tires or not. Might have to ask them.
We'll have to have a chat with some of these drivers and find out, because I'm looking at how quick the pit stops are, and pretty much the whole field for the most part was about 8 to 9 seconds. The one outlier in that one, I say, not sure if it was a mistake or maybe like I said, maybe tires or too much fuel. JD Crow, he had an 11.75 pit stop, whereas everybody else I mentioned was about 8.7 to 9. So he had about 2.5 extra seconds in that number 5 car. But importantly, kept the drive. But look at this, though.
Wow,
18 in the 02.
They leave Sebastian Marin out to dry.
Hang him out to dry. However, he's going to get a bit of a lifeline here from Vicente Guerrero. The 18 can clear, the 02 cannot.
It left Seth Gruver out.
And, I mean, the problem was, though, for Zach, I mean, his choice was he's going to either drop back with the 02 or he's got to jump in front of that 23 and keep that momentum built up. So as it's a tough decision to make, but I mean, where he is in the championship, you see his rival right now right next to him in that 1 car. I think that's the right choice for Zach Workman there. He needs to stay in front of Gabe Butler. So at some point, I'm sure he and the 02 there of Seth Gruver will get back together. And right now for Seth, that's not a bad thing for Seth though either, Matt. Again, I got to remember, he's a lap down right now. But he's right now the only lap down car in this main draft. The only other car a lap down right now is that 6 of Bud Steele, who they're actually about to catch here to put 2 down. So yeah, so actually it's probably good for the 02 to stay back a little bit where it's safer here. However, also noticing that looks like the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, he was in that second pack. It looks like he may have retired from tonight's event, unfortunately. So early night for Bob.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for Bob there. I hear that he had a little connection issue.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, I don't see anything about him dropping onto pit road. So yeah, I think possibly the connection issue dropping out of the servers. So that's never what you want to see either. But Remember when I said, though, that the O2 is just going to roll in the back and play it safe? Yeah, I lied. Yeah. He's peeking to that third lane again. But actually, he makes a good call. He tucks back in line because you see that they're about to come by the 6 of Bud Steele. And Bud, the nice gesture, jumps to the top, lets these guys swing on by without any troubles here. And then he'll be able to tag right back onto the back of this pack, hopefully, and hold onto their draft to just stay the 2 down. So that's a great call by that 6 to do what he did there. Again, just the respect that they give to one another. So hopefully Bud gets in their chance. But, yeah, I definitely lied about Seth Gruver. He's not one to ride.
He's found a buddy of the 59, Jay Hilliard.
But up front, though, these guys keep jumping back and forth. And
ooh, that was close between the 40 and the 59.
Close call there.
Tipsy in my seat there.
Yeah, these guys are getting racy right now, Matt. Again, we're still another 10 laps or so from pit stops, but you saw there now Cody's actually decided to stay on the top side to stay with the teammate of Zach Workman, but Gabe Butler is actually the one that leads that lap with help from the 071 of Eric Rory. Eric giving a great push there off of 4. So let's say that I think the teammates are trying to get reassembled with one another there. Right now, kind of the odd man out, if you will, is the 23 of Sebastian Marin, kind of the meat and the limitless sandwich in that second lane. But yeah, look at the O2 though. Seth Gruver, he's found his way back up there. So, but again though, a big push from the 18 gets Cody back to the front. He jumps low in front of Gabe, but watch for Gabe if he can maybe get that push the 06 in front of the 18 where he can jump clear. But he will not be able to do so. That 18 stays on the door of that 1 as we head back into the tri-oval.
Wow. Do you think these guys are going to calm down?
It doesn't really look like it. That being said, I think we can pretty much confirm, though, it really looks like these guys are having fun, though. These guys are definitely being aggressive, making big moves, but again, keeping it under control, but yeah, making some aggressive moves and pushing hard, and yeah, this is really fun to see. And you're right though, Matt. It looks like Bob Fitzgerald is now back on pit road, rolling out of the pits now. Unfortunately, though, there's going to be numerous laps down, but it looks like he's going to stick it out there right now, showing 3 down at the moment. Probably will be actually switching to 4 laps down here soon, I believe, as the leaders are going to come up on him pretty quick. Actually looks like he's actually taking a tow back to pit road, so something going wrong with the 08, unfortunately. So he's trying to get it diagnosed. Hopefully he can get it all squared away here soon, but unfortunately looks like it's going to be not the result Bob was looking for this evening.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for him, and yeah, bad weather headed your area, and I know how that goes.
And once again, look at as usually you see these guys kind of committed to the one lane or the other, but Cody's trying to really work both lanes, it feels like. In front of Gabe for a little bit, then he jumps back in front of the 18 of Zach Workman. Zach gives him a shove. But I feel like, I don't know if it's a net gain, though, or not, because it seems like when he jumps up there, Gabe's the one that kind of makes that big surge back forward. But I'm looking in the back, though. Again, I see now the 5 and the 02 getting locked on together here, trying to work that third lane again. So like we talked about, Seth Gruver thought he was just going to kind of cruise and keep himself safe in a good spot, but he just can't help himself. I think he just wants to keep racing no matter what, and he's got a good pusher of JD Crow right behind him. And she will hop on board with JD, and we'll watch here as they come through turn 1 and 2. As they see right now, not making a big charge yet, but right now it's just the 2 of them, so they'll probably want to try to see if they can pick up a third here.
I'm still looking for Mama Gruver in the chat. Used to enjoy her coming to the old YouTube chat. Mom, if you're out there, your boy's a lap down, but we know he can get back up there with a caution.
Yeah, definitely never over yet, but Matt, quickly already about to, a few more laps here, we're about to hit the halfway point of this race, but man, these guys are squeezing tight. See Sebastian Marin, he's jumped to the third lane now in that 23. He's going to pick up the outside lane that was being led by Seth Gruver. Now he wants it for himself. So you got Limitless in the middle, you got Boot Knocker on the inside, and you got kind of a combo of Limitless, Boot Knocker. I don't even know if there's official affiliations of all 3 of those guys up top.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I think these guys, they just want to race, and like I said, they're going after right now. But definitely still a little side-to-side motion. But man, Sebastian Marin, great push off of 2.
Wow, look at that third lane go.
Almost all 3 of them. Unfortunately, JD won't clear. but 2 of them able to clear. That's not very frequently you can see that happen. That's just how well those 3 locked on together. So hats off to them. And so like I said, this is a good opportunity for Seth here. He wants to see if he could get to the tail end of the lead lap. He could actually be on that lead lap right off the bat. And the biggest fan of that would be the 6 of Bud Steele, because if the caution comes out while this 02 is in front of the leaders, it'd be the 6 that gets one of his 2 laps back, and that would put him in a much, much better position. So right now, Bud Steele definitely the biggest Seth Gruver fan in the field right now.
Oh yeah. Right now, I was kind of looking. Looked like Zach was getting kind of hesitant. Looked like he was trying to drop back, but then again, he changed his mind, and he's looking to see Gabe up toward the front. And yep, Gaia, we're getting close to stop number 2.
Yeah, so not too far away. Like I said, some pitted at 20, some pitted at 22. That was the window. So based on that, we would expect to see about 20.
Oh,
or sorry,
boy,
about 40 to 44.
They left Sebastian in the sucker hole.
This time, Sebastian completely getting dropped here. You see all of those guys on the Toyotas on the outside line kind of trying to ditch that 23.
Pretty much team limitless. Just wow.
Once again, though, 3 of the 4 Vicente could not quite clear. He's going to have to tuck back into line. But now this is what we just said. If you look in the ticker on the left right now, you see Seth Gruver right now showing 50 seconds behind the leader. That means he's the tail end of the lead lap as they run. So it's going to kind of bounce between that and 1 down based on who's leading between him or Gabe. So that is a big move. Like I said, if a yellow comes out, that could change the complexion of numerous drivers' races here. Saying namely, obviously, Seth Gruver as well as Bud Steele could really open up possibilities for him. But now you see it goes back to 1 down because Gabe was just a nose ahead there through 3 and 4 as we're about to hit pit stops here in just a few laps.
Yeah, no, you are correct. Bud Steele is really rooting on the O to Seth Gruver right now. Just kind of hoping the caution would come out while he's in the front of the pack.
Yeah, and you also see people starting to drop to the inside line. The outside line starting to fizzle out a little bit. That usually means pit stops are looming. So be ready to see a pretty big dash on the pit road here in just a moment. But also to say, well, once we get to pit stops, we'll have to go and update a few things. Do need to mention, unfortunately, that 4-car pack, which is we mentioned with Dean Wilkinson, Paul Turner, and Robert Jordan. They're about 20 seconds off the lead now. They need a yellow to get back into this mix, unfortunately. So not the pit stops they wanted. And takers on pit road is going to be a no. No takers yet. They're going to continue on. And let's say, again, if we go by the numbers, it would be next time we would see our first takers. Robert DuPont was one of the first ones on pit road last time by lap number 20. But he's been in a good fuel-saving spot here, Matt, in the 07. I feel like Robert can probably go another lap as well if he wants to. Because he's going to want to pit with these guys. And, again, sometimes these guys kind of, I didn't mention we just crossed the halfway point here, so we've got 39 to go. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye and see, because again, you're going to want to have friends, and sometimes they get a little sneaky. They try to maybe kind of call a bluff or kind of pull a late pit entry. So you see Seth, though, he gets to the front in front of the one of Gabe Butler. So we'll see if that's going to signal any takers on pit road or not. And looks like yet again no takers yet. But yeah, so these guys are going to continue to keep after it here, and I think this is Limitless realizing, hey, we got to back it down. We got to find a hole. Because yeah, they're having to find a hole right now. I think they have to pit this time by, and they realized that it wasn't going to happen up top.
Yeah, it looks like they're all going to drop to the back, which I don't blame them. You can't afford to stay out in that field. It's going to be a long night if you do that. Sorry, long trip back to pit road.
So yeah, right now though, I'll say Vicente hasn't found an opening yet. He almost had an opening in front of Sebastian, but that hole closes quickly. But I mean, look at the two of these guys. I feel like the pace is slowing down up front a fair bit here. I think that means these guys are probably about to duck in here. So let's watch and see if we see any sharp left turns. And still no. A little surprised about that.
What do you think? Way these guys pit last? I think these guys pitted what, 21, 22. So they can go by 44, 45 laps if I had to guess. So maybe about 42, 43 we expect all leaders coming in. Maybe this time by.
So the two I'm going to watch in this cycle, though, Matt, are going to be right back here, though. The 40 of Peter DeBorgia, the 2 of Brian Wang. They went lap 22, and they've just been cruise control again here this run. I wonder, are they going to do the same thing here, try to run one extra lap and then jump in, or do they just come in this time with the field, or come in with the field and be able to take less fuel? That's going to be a big story for them as well. So we'll see. And you see here comes the O2. They're going to jump in, and we're going to get a mixed bag here. So we got some staying out, some on pit road.
Ooh, they were hot coming in. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Someone's got a
speed contact. The 101, I think, caught the pit cone. I think that will be a penalty for Randy Minor, unfortunately. I think he just kissed the cone there. As you see the rest of the field, I'll say it looks like everybody's trying to make it in safely. You see some using the pit lane, if you will. Oh, the 18 had to back it up. The 101 had to back it up. So a few mistakes getting in their pit stalls here. That's always a dangerous situation. So let's see where they all come out in relation to one another. You see there goes the 02. Here comes the 1, the 07, the 071. So good job by those guys. The one I'm a little worried about was Zach Workman.
He's got a little damage
on the right. I think he's going to blend in there. Well, we'll have to take a look at that, but we're going to go back up front because here comes the second pack being led by Vicente Guerrero. And yeah, there they go. Those are the two I was wondering about. Brian Wang, Peter DeBorgia, they're going to run a little further. And oh, big slide by the 23 doing what he does best, and that's getting every ounce he can onto pit road. So you got the 23, the 5, the 18, and the 06. Sorry, the 14 and the 06 coming in together, which leaves now Brian Wang, Peter DeBorgia. But this time they have one more pusher here, and that's going to be the 6 of Bud Steele. That's going to help their pace a little bit, Matt, so they shouldn't lose as much time. But these guys are going to be sitting pretty possibly on this final pit stop if we stay under green, because they've been able to save a little bit more fuel. That final pit stop might be shorter for these three.
Wow.
So let's jump back up front because Sebastian Marin's rolling out of pit road. Right now, he's leading this pack that just pitted. Gabe Butler leading the pack. Well, actually, just should say the 0-2. Seth Gruver leading the pack that just came out of pit road. So let's hop on board. It's actually Brian Wang, Peter DeBorgia on pit road. Oh, Bud Steele flirting with the cone there in entry 2. But let's go to these guys. And actually, I think this is a job done for these 4. I think they're going to build their speed back up and hang on to the point possibly. Because Gabe's still about 2 seconds out. It's closing. You can see the ticker going the right way, but they're building speed up very quickly. So great job by these 4 going one extra lap and nailing their pit road entry and exit. So I think that's a job well done for these 4. The next question is going to be Brian Wang, Peter DeBorgia. It looks like Brian's going to win that race off of pit road as they build their speed back up on the exit. And you can see just in the background Sebastian Marin working his way through. So their job right now, Matt, they don't need to net as the leader, but they need to make sure that they tag onto the back of this main draft here. And I think they should be able to do so because they're looking pretty good. And look at Peter. He is rolling right onto the back of Brian, and they're going to lock on here as they come out of 2.
Now we got another probably another tale of 2 races upcoming. Paul Turner and Dean Wilkinson. You know they're about to get lapped, right? So Seth Gruver is leading that next pack.
Oh, caution!
Oh, wow.
Trouble in the back. Big hit for Jay Hilliard. Caution is out. Seth Gruver was still, I believe, set a lap down, so that'll put Seth back on the lead lap with the lucky dog. Oh man, that 59 is damaged. That car is not tracking straight. Big hit for Jay Hilliard. And I'll say everybody was kind of gathering their speed back up, trying to get back up, kind of momentum and all that. But that's a tough hit for that 59 car. So let's go back, Matt, try to find what happened here. Because like I said, we obviously saw it was involving Jay Hilliard. Let's see if we can find out where it occurred. And it looks like maybe a little bit of a checkup in the second lane here. So let's find the 59. Let's focus a little closer on him. There he is.
I think he had a little contact
and
with the 18.
Let's see. Yeah, he gets checked up behind the 071, and then, the accordion gets into Zach Workman. Zach gets into the back of him. No intents there, just unlucky. And, Peter DeBorgia maybe gets a little piece of it as well. And then there's the big hit, unfortunately, right there by the 39. Looks like possible involvement with the 101 as well. A little bit of contact, I think, also for the 171. So pretty much that's a tough incident for pretty much all the TW guys. That puts us under yellow.
What a big break for Dean Wilkinson and Paul Turner. They were about to go a lap down.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. This is a huge break for Dean. You can see they just caught back up to the field because pit road is open. And this is going to be an interesting call here because I think you play opposite if you're some drivers. So you see the leaders. Looks like everybody's going to come on in. So if I'm the 6 of Bud Steele here, Matt, I stay out, and that's exactly what Bud does. That is the best call he can make there. So does Robert Jordan, because, again, they pitted at 42, and so now with all these drivers pitting, he'll be able to come out and get one of the 2 laps back on the wave round, so he'll actually be just 1 lap down. Need to mention, of course, Seth Gruver getting the wave round now. There he goes. He's going to get back on the lead lap, but now put Bud Steele, Robert Jordan just 1 down. So that's a big strategy call. I think it's a great call for Bud here, because at this point you've really got nothing to lose. So I really like what Bud did here in that 6 car. So hats off to him for that call. And yeah, so now I'm wondering, is there maybe some? Oh, actually, a little strategy here by JD Crow as well, Matt. Really? He just drove through pit road. He's gonna get a bonus point, lead a lap, and then he's going to come in and put a splash of fuel in that number 5 machine as well, because he had not led a lap yet. And I'm looking at the fuel numbers here, Matt, because right now we're at 32 to go. We're going to restart with 30 laps to go. We've seen them go about, 22, I think, laps, the max they've run on fuel. So based on that, they need to have another 10 or so laps to... Basically, they need to add about 10 laps of fuel on their final stop. I'm thinking these guys are working the numbers to make sure they can stay with just a single can of fuel to make it to the end.
Oh, yeah. It's probably maybe about 5 gallons of fuel. We can make it to the end. It's going to be very close.
Well, let's try to quiz somebody here. We're going to pull up that leader right now who stayed out. I like the strategy call, so why not quiz him on it while we haven't. So let's pull JD Crow on over here, because I think there's some strategy afoot in that J Concepts number 5 Camaro here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you drove through the pits there, get that lap lead. I don't know if you've been able to get that taken care of yet. And then how are we looking on fuel to the end? Is it going to be kind of right on the edge of a 1 can versus the 2nd can? Or, I mean, what are you guys looking at on your side? Without giving too much away, I should say.
Well, we definitely drove through to get that point, so go ahead and get that out of the way, not have to worry about it until the last lap. And it's probably going to be some different fuel strategies here. I think the window's going to open up in about, 10 or 11 laps. So, we're getting about 20, 19, depending on where you're running on the track.
So basically you'll probably be about 10 laps shy. So I'll say, well, we'll let you focus, get back to it. But yeah, like the strategy, though, get that bonus point knocked out. Good luck the rest of the way, JD.
Appreciate it, Gail. Thank you.
All right, that's the 5 of JD Crow. He's going to come in and hit pit road here, get that splash of fuel. And, Matt, look at this. It is feeding time on pit road. Everybody's in splashing a little bit of fuel as well in those cars. So, actually, Gabe Butler, he's even going to get tires on that one machine and said, you know what, I'm going to take tires now so I don't have to take them later. So some strategy going on that one. He's going to roll actually a little further back here than where he was initially. So some mixed strategy there. You see that in the background there, the O2 is just coming on pit road to get service after his lucky dog. That's definitely the right call for Seth here. But the ones that did not top off here, only 3 drivers, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, and Robert DuPont. And of course the other 2 that took the wave around on that one to go there, Bud Steele, Robert Jordan, they pitted basically about 40 on lap 42, so they're about 5 laps shorter on fuel than the rest of the field here. As you see Brian taking out the blue cone there in the pit exit there. We'll have to have a chat with him about that one. That poor blue cone now in the middle of the racing surface. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see. And Chris, good to see you, sir. Hope you are doing well. It was fun hanging out a little earlier today. Hope you enjoy your surprise there. And yeah, man, it's good to see you over here. And we're getting to it here. One more pit stop to go to the end. And I think the big story right now, Matt, is going to be the fuel situation. When do you make your final stop? Do you pit with 10 to go, or do you pit 10 laps into your run and then basically then you know you're good to the end? So it's a big window now that you could choose to pit or stay out.
It's going to be, as I would say, a team effort. Everybody's got to agree on a certain lap, and I probably might see him on probably about lap 68.
Yeah, I'm thinking if it's me, depending on who I'm with on track, I'm pitting with about, I'm going to say 16 to go. Make sure it's still just 1 can of fuel, but basically pit before a caution comes out, because then if there is a caution, you can cycle all the way back up to the front. So we'll see. I say it's going to be a lot of strategy. It's going to be a lot of teamwork here. But in Vicente, he's got control, Matt. So say as soon as he wants to go, he can. I think he and Cody Nagels are going to try to get on the same page here because it is a lonely background behind that 06 car. And yeah, there they go, just a little early. That should let the 06 be able to slide right on in here behind the 14. And then from there, everybody's going to try to make sure that they don't lose the draft. So far, so good. Looks like everybody's had a pretty clean restart here. You see there, Seth Gruver back on the lead lap, but Steele's right there, Robert Jordan. Those two are going to be fighting for the lucky dog. But up front, though, we got Limitless 1-2. Robert DuPont starting to join the mix. But watch the fourth position here. Eric Laurie, Peter Borgia. They're going to get a big head of steam here. We'll see if they jump to the top. Now, looks like they're going to stay in line for the moment.
No, I'm looking
here
at
comes TW.
The one-on-one.
Oh, here goes Peter DeBorgia. He waited for Eric. Eric said, I'm going to stay put. Peter said, don't mind if I do. But Rodney Minor, he had other ideas too.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Whoa, we got a little close to Peter right there.
All right, so Limitless continues the lead.
Randy.
Yeah, so Randy's thinking, oh man, I thought I had the right move, and unfortunately did not pan out there. He's going to have to find an opening and try to slot in line. He just does so.
Robert's going to let him in.
That's teamwork right there, Robert Rock. And actually, you mentioned, Matt, some of the contact. I looked at the back of the 18 Zach Workman. That car is pretty center punched there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. So we talked about incident points. That may be enough to unfortunately remove his incident-free race. So
yep, it sure did.
So yeah, so now we got to think about the bonus points. If Gabe has still got a clean race car, that could be 3 points to his advantage over that number 18. Again, he was only 1 point out of the lead, so that's unfortunately a bit of a hit for the 18, and that's unfortunately the nature of racing. And I'm not sure if that happened on the restart or when it occurred, but that's a tough break for the 18 of Zach Workman.
But first, you have to finish. That's the key thing.
Thought I saw a little bit of happenings in the back, but looks like everybody's good to go still. But yeah, so actually, yeah, Seth Gruver here. Oh, Seth Gruver's got some damage to that right front of that car. Not sure where he made some contact, it looks like. Let's see if I can find it possibly. I think it may have been between he and Jay Hilliard here. Try to find a little better angles. We pick up some speed.
Look at in the turn number 1 on lap 51.
Oh, yeah, the 02 just jumped to the top there, trying to I think get to the 23. I don't think he realized the 59 was there. Jay's, I mean, obviously, again, not intentional, but yeah, Jay's not going to be happy about that. And actually, Jay's had to hit pit road here. Damn. Oh, that's a tough break for the 59. I think that was also he had already burned that fast repair as well, so just bad to worse, unfortunately. And also, the 02 is, I believe, going to lose the draft as well, so unfortunately that miscue cost them both of them. But back up front, though, Peter DeBorgia, remember, he was just kind of taking it easy, playing it calm, cool, collected. Here he goes. He's up to the front now with a big push from Jimmy Crow here. Can't clear the 14 yet, but right now they're making a great charge. So I think the strategy that the 40 had earlier probably is out and gone, so now he's just got to stay after it here and be aggressive. Also, again, one of our he's been around all season, just hasn't been able to race. Real life's been kind of taking over for some stuff. I'm definitely glad to see Peter in here. And this is what you expect to see out of a Peter DeBorgia. He is very, very quick, and he's also very calculating when to make those big moves. And there's one right there, jumps in front of the 14 there, and he takes the point.
Wow. It didn't take long.
No, so there's not much rust to shake off out of Peter DeBorgia. So he knows his stuff, and so he's making that extra life car look very, very good. And so that's also the nice thing too, is he puts a lot of time, a lot of effort into that charity. Basically, anything that you'll see a lot of good looking paint schemes on here. There's a good chance Peter's the one that painted that, and any money he makes from those paint schemes goes straight to the Extra Life Foundation, going to the Children's Hospital. So say it's a really cool thing, and say it's one of those ones you feel good about giving him the money towards it, because, like I said, where it goes to. So always enjoy supporting Peter with what he does. He's painted me a couple great green white checkered cars myself. I'll say maybe look at some sponsorship next season, man. Maybe get one of our other drivers into one of those machines, like green white checkered cars. So I see Chris kind of chiming in saying he's got to run with these guys, and yeah, I mean, I'd love to see you on track here too, Chris. So and unfortunately, can confirm Jay Hilliard has retired from the event in the 59. Again, no fault of his own, just just bad luck there. And same as we mentioned, Seth Gruver is out of the lead pack as well, so he's kind of off on his own in the 0-2. So did all that work, got back in the lead lap, and then just unfortunately one little miscue has put himself in a bad spot once more. Poke around here, Matt. Who have we not talked about tonight?
Who have we not talked about tonight? The 14 of Vicente Guerrero. That's who we have not talked about tonight.
He's been pretty quiet tonight, I feel like, for a Vicente race. So usually he's kind of up front. I mean, he's been up front, but usually it's like front two spots, making those giant moves. But I think he's been trying to play it calm. Again, he's not in a bad spot on points himself in that 14 True Value car. So I think he's been thinking big picture here.
Mm-hmm. There's another car we have not talked about, the 2 of Brian Wang.
Well, I mean, I don't want to show too much of that beautiful paint scheme, though, man. I mean, everybody's going to get distracted once they look at that 2 car, especially with, like I said, especially with those eyelashes on the front lights.
Yeah, I'm digging the paint scheme. It's pretty cool. And we haven't talked about Robert Rock, the 171. Speaking out, he is 3 wide. Oh, he just almost got in the side of Randy Minor there. Wow.
Yeah, it was close call. Again, I said, as soon as you mentioned it, I said, we're looking over there, and everybody was catching those cars, so that was close call. But you're right, though. Robert's been, like I said, he's been kind of taking it easy, but now he's making the big charge. And I say he's got a good little group here with him. He's got the 101 behind him, Randy Minor. He's got Bud Steele right in front of, Dean Wilkinson right in front of him. Gabe Butler's right there. So I mean, he's in a solid little pack there. Bud Steele's right there as well. And again, the Lucky Dog battle right now. Bud still just had a Robert Jordan, both running on that second lane. So definitely keep an eye on them. If we get that yellow, that would be the Lucky Dog battle right now. Bud has it, so gotta watch him. And I'd say the other guys that have been kind of quiet. I mean, we've talked about the 071 of Eric Laurie up front a little bit, but he's just been quiet, like you said. He's just been kind of, he pushed Gabe when he needed to, and now he's kind of just backed it down. And he's just running his race right here. So I'll have to keep an eye on him. And Robert DuPont too. He's been up front, but he's been quiet tonight. No real big charge to the front. I think he's same thing. I think he's waiting to make that charge when he needs to. I think a lot of these guys are thinking big picture, and especially now knowing, hey, some of our championship contenders have had some contact, probably don't have a faster pair left, or just don't have the bonus points for incident-free race. So if I can keep my car clean, I know I'm going to gain 3 points on them, so I don't want to lose those freebies, if you will. However, while we watched that, we mentioned Robert Rock. They pushed Gabe Butler to lead, and now here goes Dean. He's got the big charge. He's just about to clear. Can't quite do it, though, so they stay lined up here once more. But here we go, Matt, though. Next time by 20 to go. We talked to the 5 there a little bit ago about JD Crow. He mentioned that the pit strategy is going to be interesting here because, again, there's pretty much a 10-lap window of when you could pit. So the question is going to be, do you come in early? Do you come in late? Do you account for green-white checkers? Or you just say, hey, I'm going to put just enough field to make it to the end. And if you have enough cars that come out together in a good pack, and here they come, on cue. Coming right at 20 to go here, and it looks like it is the Boot Knockers coming in together, and they are once again just sending it into pit road. And this is a very stout pack here. Looks like 7 cars strong here. So now I think, do we see the rest of the field have to react to this? I feel like this is a big enough pack that you need to react.
Yeah, if you're gonna stay out, I spell doom.
And I say you could run a lap and see, hey, what do my lap times look like compared to them? But I think, like I said, I think you got to come in here. Looking at pit stops, 6.5 seconds is all the field these guys are taking. Very, very fast pit stops, and they're all rolling out of pit road here together. It looks like in pretty close proximity. Looks like Gabe's won the race out of pit road. But yeah, these guys are all locked on pretty nicely together. So we'll see. Yeah, here comes the response.
Here comes Limitless and the 07 of Robert DuPont.
Yeah, you also got Dean Wilkinson's there. Oh, it was a little hot by the 171. Hopefully got it woed down here. But so we do have, like I said, an immediate response from these guys, and I think that is the right call. And you see the Limitless guys, they're 3 wide here. They got to make sure that they get themselves staggered, not to have any contact entering their pits. And it looks like job done for them. Oh, Dean Wilkinson had to back it up a tiny bit. Matt, we'll have to see if that comes into play or not. So we have 2 that stay out here, though. Randy Minor in the 101. and then the 4 of Paul Turner. But right now, like I said, Randy, he could go another almost 10 laps should he choose to. JD Crow back on pit road, Matt. I think possibly a penalty on exit for the 5. That's a tough one. That's a heartbreaker for Randy. We'll have to keep, for JD. We'll have to keep an eye out for him.
No, he has no black flags.
We'll have to keep an eye on JD, see what's going on for that number 5 machine. But right now, Robert Rock is our net leader for the moment. But here comes Gabe Butler, got the push he needed from Peter DeBorgia there, Sebastian Marin, and Brian Wang. And they're going to try to run away now, Matt. They've built up a second, and it's continuing to grow. So they got to get locked on together and make the right moves, because they're just about to fall out of that draft window. And that's the concern. You got to make sure you nail these in and out laps. JD's still sitting on pit road in the 5 car, sitting at about 30 seconds now down and away.
Yep.
That kind of screams pit penalty to me.
Yeah. I'm just now looking at my timing and scoring, and yes, that is a pit exit penalty for the 5 car.
That's the heartbreaker. So he's gonna need some help, Matt. He's now a lap down. However, with the way everybody is right now on track, he's the only car one down, because again, Bud Steele, Robert Jordan, they have not pitted yet. They're running long here. They want a yellow because they know if there is a caution, pretty much the leaders probably won't pit. So I think this is the right call for them. Run it long and just hope for a break, because otherwise you're probably in the same boat anyway. So unfortunately for JD, he is off on his own there, so he's going to need a yellow as well. Ideally for him sooner than later, because again, he wants to get back on the lead lap. But man, look at these guys. Actually, they're jumping around a little bit. Gabe moving to the top there, Peter staying with them. Not sure if they're trying to break the draft or what, but I can say though, that breakaway did not happen. Here they come. Vicente Guerrero leading the charge here. He is only half a second back, so we're about to have 13 cars in this lead pack. Great job by all those guys. Randy Minor, Paul Turner, they're trying to get back up there, but it's going to be tight for them. I'll keep an eye on their intervals. And also, yeah, good to see you, Todd. Hopefully, I would say definitely glad to hear you're enjoying your time. Definitely hope to see you back on track here as well soon, sir. I'll say it's always been a pleasure being able to broadcast with you and be able to just watch you race and race with you from time to time as well. So, I hope you're doing well and look forward to hopefully seeing you back on track soon. But look up top, Matt, that 18 Zach Workman. He said it's go time. And remember we talked about that crumpled rear bumper? That car looks all better now. So that, to me, says probably faster pair. They do have 2, so he may have just burned one of the 2, but decided it was worth the risk to take one down.
Yeah. It's go time now. Well, not really go time, but you got about 16 to go. But these guys are racing like it's the last lap.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's 16 to go, but yeah, you're right. It's about 1.6 laps to go the way these guys are going after it. But great push by Limitless. Look at the 18. He gets clear of the 1. He goes to the middle, but look at what he does. He doesn't go to the bottom. He knows that the momentum is in that middle lane. Doesn't want to drop down, because I don't think that he doesn't feel like that's where the speed is yet.
Yep.
Because they're great drivers down the bottom side, but there's only 2 of them, although they're proving me wrong right now, because they're actually kind of starting to surge back up to the front there. Say Sebastian Marin and that 2 of Brian Wang, and I think someone saw that too and said, you know what, I got to go with him. And yep, that's Eric Laurie. He liked what he saw. Oh, we're tied up front there by 14 and 55.
Yeah.
But man, these guys
thought about it. Going down, because he might have momentum coming down the backstretch here.
And I'm watching the lap times. Actually, don't count out Randy Minor, Paul Turner. They are running faster than leaders, about a half a second quicker last time by. I think they're going to catch back onto them. So great job not giving up by those 2. They look like they're going to catch back up to this field. But up front now, you got Sebastian Marin leading the inside. You got Zach Workman leading the middle, and then you've got the 14th Vicente Guerrero leading the outside line. And like I said, they are going at it tooth and nail here as we got 15 to go, 14 at the line. As you see, there's Randy Minor, Paul Turner. Give us 15 cars back on this lead pack.
I'm afraid to say anything, because about that commentator's curse.
I mean, that's I don't know how, but when we created Green White Checker TV, somehow I created a commentator's curse that went along with it. And for all the drivers that have been affected and all the drivers that will be affected, I apologize. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it just worked out that way. I can tell you though, Bud Steele and Robert Jordan are on pit road 4 wide.
Wow, the 55 got in the outside retaining wall there.
Oh, what a good job, though. Everybody gets situated back there. We go 4 wide through 3 and 4. They hang on to it. Oh, my goodness. You know, those guys were grabbing that wheel very tight. And while that all happens, Gabe Butler, he got to the front down to the inside now in front of the 23, Sebastian Marin. Oh, my goodness. I don't know who to watch and who to focus on. And at this point, I mean, who do we pick?
Good Lord. Right now, it's a toss-up. But I really think Zach is thinking points. Stay ahead of Gabe. That's all he's focused on now, is staying with that one car.
Well, and something we haven't when we talked about, of course, him losing the bonus points for incident-free race, but what that also does is it kind of unleashes you a little bit too, Matt. Where it's like, well, hey, I don't have to play not play nice, but I don't have to worry about maybe hesitating or making a move because I don't want to get an incident point or whatever. It's like, hey, I know at this point I don't got those 3 points, so my best option here is now to win this race because that is going to offset the 3 bonus points from Gabe. So I think that's the big difference. I think it's a 5-point difference between first and second, just in the overall points results. So I think for Zach, I think it's exactly that, Matt. I think he's got to just think, you know what, I got to win this race. So that being said, he's going to have to beat Gabe, but he's also going to have to beat his teammates because here comes Cody working the top side with Vicente pushing.
Remember when I talked about earlier in the race that Peter and the 18 car, Zach Workman, are teammates in another league? Right now they're hooked up together. I'm quite curious to see how much that 40 car gives him to push it toward the end of the race.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah, you don't even know who's going to line up with which drivers at the end because it's all jumbling around. Right now, as I said, you got some formal teammates up top. I guess you could probably say formal teammates on the bottom side as well. Saying Gabe's probably feeling good having Sebastian there, Brian Wang, Eric Laurie. So you've got a good number of boot knockers, past or present. I'm not sure the official, like I said, I'm not sure the official team status and all that. But yeah, you got 2 limitless on the outside, and then you got Jimmy Crow, apologies, working that third lane there as well. The 07 Robert DuPont. They're just trying to figure out where's the best position for them. And then you got the Bad Company, TW Motorsports, working that middle lane behind those 2, the 18 and the 40 that we just talked about. Same thing. They're just trying to get where they can. You see the 02 pulling off on the pit road.
40. Never mind. And the 40 jumps at the outside, and it just leaves the 55 pushing the 18 now.
I also wonder for Peter, though, maybe that car was getting a little hot. Again, you can only push for so long before you start to overheat. Didn't mention, you saw the 02 there of Seth Gruver. He hit pit road. That was to get fuel done. He basically waited until 10 to go. He was hoping for that yellow. Didn't get it. So now he is back, I believe, 1 down. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is on the either tail end of the lead lap or going to be 1 down. We'll keep an eye on where he comes out. But yeah, unfortunately for the 02, he's going to need to get some help. But man, that move by the 40 actually helped the 18 though, Matt, because look at that. They charged for now Dean Wilkinson leading that second lane as he was able to shove the 18 clear. But say that move by Peter DeBorgia may have not been what he was hoping for, because now he's only got 1 car behind him here. As we're 10 to go here, Matt, at the line. We're going to get single digits now, guys. 9 to go here at Talladega.
We're getting down to it now.
Yeah, right now Jimmy Crow and Dean Wilkinson and Zach Workman, but Jimmy Crow's, I was watching him, so I saw him pick up Peter DeBorgia up top. They're going to try to get lined up there. But man, Limitless, though, they got split up. I mean, look at now Vicente and Cody. They're falling back to about, I say somehow, even though in this main pack, they're right outside the top 10, basically, while their teammate Zach Workman is leading the field here. As, big move by Gabe, is able to get just in front of Dean. Dean has no choice but to lock onto the back of that 1 car. And now Gabe's going to try to get that big charge to the front. Man, these guys are making some great moves here and easily clears.
Scary moves.
And yeah, scary, but very impressive, though. And they both are going to clear the 18 car. Where does Gabe go? Does he stay top? Does he go bottom? He's going to stay top, and now that splits TW now. And look at the 101. He jumps up top. He's going to leave the 1 car.
Wow.
The big moves being made right now. These guys are all jockeying for position. Look at the 18. He clears. He jumps back in front of the 1 after all said and done. Oh my goodness, Matt, this is getting wild here as Gabe was just leading. Now he's going to fall back a few spots as the 18 goes back in the lead. He jumps in front of the 55. What lane do you want to be in here, Matt? I kind of feel like I like the middle lane, but wow.
We've discussed this before, and we had a nice little conversation with, I think it was Cody Nagels. He told me the second lane is probably the best lane. You can either jump down, and if you get a good run of that middle lane, you can easily jump down to the bottom maybe toward the white flag lap. But that third lane it's kind of like indecisive. They usually get the momentum going down the backstretch because all that banking. But we'll have to see. Maybe Peter can give the 101 a great push going on the backstretch coming lap. We'll see.
I think the outside line needs at least one more car, but man, right now they are going after. Remember we're talking about. Yeah, so yeah, here they come. You're right though. Now you got 4 cars strong up top there, so this is what they're looking for, I think. So now you got 4 in the middle. 4. Oh nope, Jimmy jumps to the bottom there. So now we're gonna go back to 3. It looks like up top for the moment. But right now Gabe just a nose ahead, and now they're coming up to a tough spot here. They're going to be coming up soon on the 02 of Seth Gruver, the 5 of JD Crow. As man, these guys are moving around. But I say we're talking about, remember the 07 of Robert DuPont? We're talking about him just kind of taking it easy, playing cruising. He is now shoving that middle lane, trying to get Gabe to the front, because again, if he can clear Gabe, that could give himself a chance to get the push from those Limitless guys right behind him. So it is anybody's guess. And right now, look at the playoff drivers, Matt. We've got 7 of our top 8 drivers in the points, or in the championship, I should say, in that top 8. Unfortunately, the one odd man out is JD Crow with whatever penalty he had. Oh, that 4 just kisses the wall, but it looks like he's going to be okay. We continue to go on here, but we're about to hit 5 to go here.
Wow, it's like your competition. You have to push him. I mean, what do you do?
You have to. It's in your best interest to push that person in front of you, regardless of who they are, because that's going to put you in your best position to maybe have a chance to win the race. Because, like, if you're the 07 Robert DuPont, if you push Gabe clear, maybe Gabe goes to the bottom. That gives you the outside line and have a chance to win this race. Same thing for that 101 here in the 40. If Peter DeBorgia can push the 101 clear, that could give him an opportunity. But like I said, they're about to come up in the 02 and the 5. I presume they'll probably have to drop to the apron here at some point once they get to him. You know they won't want to, because it's going to put Seth a lap down. That's going to put JD 2 laps down. But, man, I think they're going to have to. Oh,
that was close. Look at that move between the 18 and the 1. They barely, you can fit a piece of paper through there.
Yeah,
that
big move there.
Close.
I was like, Kevin chiming in saying that Sebastian's dragging the brakes in the 23 car. And it's a good point, too, is there's a lot of different strategies of how do you race it. I mean, because you can't stay flat to the floor and just shove the guy around, because you're gonna wind up wrecking him. As I say that, almost contact between the 23 and the 55. Dean hangs onto it. Oh, we are 4 to go here, and it is anybody's guess right now, but it is wild, and it is a ton of fun.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Dean wanted to go in front of the 18 there.
And like you said, I don't know what the right lane is. You see, Dean's got to be careful because he's drifting up a little too much there out of turn 4. If he's not careful, the 23 can cut left underneath them. And if the 23 doesn't give, that could be contact. So have to be very careful there. As here they come up on the lap traffic, the 02 and the 5. We'll keep an eye and see. I believe they'll drop to the apron, but I can't say for sure yet. But it looks like they're going to catch him right out of turn 2. So this will work actually about perfectly for that. And so we'll see if there they go, cut left there. And that's great sportsmanship. So hats off to Seth, hats off to JD. You know they don't want to do it, but they just have no choice at this point. They're going to stay in it though. But look at, Gabe jumps to the top here. A lot of motion going on in the mid-pack here. Dean's going to sneak away by a car length or 2. That's going to possibly open the door now for the 23 of Sebastian Marin. It is going to open the door. Oh my goodness, Matt. This is really kicking off right now.
Wow. It's a fight now. Wow, look at the 23 just pulls up right into the front of the 18. And the 18 gives the 23 a heck of a push going down the start-finish line. Here we go with 2 to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't win it, you want a non-playoff driver to win it. So it's probably, again, it's in Zach's best interest. If he can't win, he's going to want to push somebody else who isn't in the playoffs. And right now, that is Sebastian Marin. Brian Wang would be the other option, who's the furthest up as we speak. Eric Laurie would be another option in the 071 as well. And, of course, Peter DeBorgia we talked about earlier. But Matt, we're 2 to go here. Right now, they just got to get another half lap, and then this would be an official race. They just have to get to that white flag, and then at that point, all bets are off. But right now, though, I don't know who I'm pointing towards, because I feel like that third lane is going to make a big charge here soon. And each lane has great pushers behind them.
Here we go. The bell lap, the final lap. Here we go.
Yeah.
I really think Brian Wang is holding something back. I really do.
Well, he's got to be careful, because if he falls too far back to that 23, he can go top or bottom. And right now he's staying top. You see the 18, he wants to go to the third lane, but can't do it yet. That's going to give Dean Wilkinson a big charge off of 2. Now it's going to be the drag race down the backstretch here. Who gets the best push here as we come to 3 and 4 for the final time?
Oh, I'm looking between the 1 car and the 14. It looks like the 1 is not going to... looks like... the 1 is not going to get there. It's going to be battle between the 55 to 23 and possibly the 2.
Yeah, right now Dean likes what he sees. He's got good pushing from Brian Wang, but here comes the momentum shift to the outside. Sebastian Marin, big charge.
And it's going to be close at the line. It's going to be Dean Wilkinson.
I think Dean gets the win there, showing he is our winner by 100th of a second over Sebastian Marin, Brian Wang, and Matt, if you are Dean Wilkinson, that is absolutely perfect for you, because you win the race, and then you have 2 non-playoff drivers finishing 2nd and 3rd, giving you an even bigger gap over those guys further back. So what a race, though. What a job. What a great race by all these guys. That was wild, and man, that was intense racing. And like I said, even if you didn't get the results you want, I have a feeling there's going to be about 13 drivers right now with a big smile on their face after that finish.
Man, that was a hell of a race. A good call by the admins here. That is fantastic calls, and this league is definitely on the positive track, and I'm looking forward to the next race already. That was huge. That was a great win by Dean.
That was a lot of fun. He's going to celebrate through the Geico signage in the infield there, and he's going to continue to celebrate here. But Matt, let's go back. Let's go run back one more time here. Let's watch that run to the checkered flag, because for a moment it looked like Sebastian Marin was about to get the push he needed to from the 18 of Zach Workman, because they were locked on pretty well. There's a little tiny separation there between the 2 and the 55. But I think, like I said, Brian Wang got the pushing he needed to have done there before they got to that tri-oval. But again, though, look at all these moves. You see all these guys. You can see the flames coming out. Some drivers having to lift off the throttle to avoid any contact. And then here's the drag race to the finish and how close it was between them. And it, like I said, it was pretty tight. About a nose right there. You can see there the 55 over the 23. And then same thing right there. Just the nose ahead of the 2 over the 18. So great race, though. Man, what a finish. So, Matt, let's go find some drivers to chat with. And I say it wasn't a win tonight, but that beautiful paint scheme, Brian Wang is going to get some more TV time. Let's go to hunt him on down here. Let's have a chat with our runner, or our podium finisher here in the 2. So we're going to pull up that number 2 car of Brian Wang. And I don't know how you made that paint scheme again, but man, lightning strikes twice in that beautiful car there, Brian. So you got the eyelashes, you got the fish. And man, I think you've got something going, because I mean, it's a first on Thursday, a third here tonight on Sunday. But I mean, take us through the race, because obviously the big change in the points, or I should say in the fuel, to kind of open up the racing there. And I mean, you guys just took that and said, yeah, let's do this. I mean, you guys were fighting tooth and nail for a good portion of that race.
Yeah, it's nice that they finally changed the fuel, open up the strategies, definitely. At the first 2 pit stops, Peter and I went a lap longer than everyone else. And that first one, the first pit stop, we nearly lost the pack because it was just us 2 and we were separated. But on the second one, we were right behind each other in the pack. And then when everyone else pitted, we were able to just go faster than them. But then the caution came out, and everyone topped off, and we pitted as early as possible, and hope to stay at the front after the pits.
And that's actually something I did want to talk to you and Peter about, was you guys went further than everybody on fuel by a lap or 2. If it had gone caution free to the end there, would that have, how much of an advantage would that have played for you guys? Because obviously your final stop, you could have put a little bit less fuel in. Would it have been enough to maybe do a significant amount, where let's say you could do a one can where everybody else was going to have to at least plug in the second can for a bit? Or I mean, what were the numbers looking like for you guys, if you're allowed to kind of give away the info?
Yeah, actually, all of the pit stops were just one can, even though it was like almost 10 gallons. So, yeah, it definitely caught me off guard when it was only one can. I took left side tires for the first stop, but it didn't slow me down that much. But, yeah, we were just hoping to, pit later than everyone else on the first two stops, and maybe the third stop, pit with them and just take a bit less fuel. Like a lap less fuel, and maybe that would have gotten us out in front, but with the pack.
Oh man, it was a lot of fun watching you guys. Like I said, and we loved the strategy because, like I said, we had no idea what was going to be the right call there at the end. Because, like I said, and saying it's good to know there that the fuel mileage there, how it was going to work out. Like I said, the one can or plug in the second can or not. So that's definitely really good info as well. But man, that racing event, that was a ton of fun. Matt and I were definitely kind of biting our nails there a few times. I feel like I know I caught myself kind of going up a couple octaves there as well. I mean, you guys were making some big moves there. But man, just a great job tonight. So I know you made Owen proud again tonight in that beautiful paint scheme. So I definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, shout out to Owen. I'm sure he's gonna love seeing the paint on the broadcast. Shout out to you guys, of course, for streaming. Shout out to everyone at Bootnaka, everyone that we ran with today, all of the admins from Area 51, and shout out to Kevin, who couldn't make it out to the race to race with us today because he's watching the real race in Vegas. But yeah, just thanks to everyone.
It's a rough life for Kevin, but hopefully we'll have him back soon. But yeah, great job though tonight, Brian. Okay, go enjoy this one, man. It was a lot of fun. Hope to see you again here soon.
All right, thanks.
See you, Brian.
All right, that is that number 2 of Brian Wang. Let's jump one more spot forward. And that unsponsored, unpainted number 23 of Sebastian Marin. So I say it was a late addition to the field, but say you didn't get all the sponsorship on there. But man, I say if there was any rust, it didn't show tonight. You were making some big moves, and oh my goodness, that was a lot of fun watching you. And I say it was definitely the Sebastian Marin of old. It looked like tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. I haven't done a lot of races in these cars. Lately I've been doing more of the trucks or next gens. So a little rusty in this car, I guess you could say. But yeah, it felt good. Those last laps after that final pit stop were amazing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean that was probably some of the most intense racing. I mean, there was even at one point where you guys had not by intention, but going 4 wide there for 3 and 4, I think it was. And then obviously 3 wide for a good chunk of it. And then just the moves to kind of, do you want the bottom? Do you want a middle? Do you want to go top? I mean, and then the big pushes. I mean, it was a little bit of everything, but I mean, you guys got through it all, and say it looked like everybody came through pretty much unscathed. And obviously you Dean and Brian will be the happiest getting those top 3 finishes. But I was telling Matt, I have a feeling pretty much everybody that finished in that lead pack probably finished that race with a bit of a smile on their face, because to do what you guys did, run as hard as you did lap after lap, especially after that final pit stop, and to come through completely unscathed there, I mean, that was some pretty intense stuff, it looked like.
Yeah, it was very intense. With the points being so close, there was a little bit of gamesmanship going on up there. So that's probably why you saw so many different lines and a group of people, the sun going middle, or people staying mid and letting their teammates stay on the bottom. So I think on those last couple laps, I was more worried about Gabe than really focusing on trying to get the win. And even on the last lap, I didn't really side draft Dean until the trial, which in the end cost me the race. But I was just trying to see if I could do anything to help Gabe, because, like I said, gamesmanship, trying to help other teammates get points. So he didn't have the greatest of help, because obviously they were trying to help their other teammates. So he was kind of stuck on the high lane. So I was focused on him to see if anybody would go up and try to help him. And by the time I realized we were coming out of 4, Dean was just that slightly bit ahead, so I needed maybe, I don't know, I'd say 15, 20 feet longer, and I think I probably would have got him. But in the end, it was a good race, very exciting, very clean, a lot of fun. So maybe I'll be back here next week.
That'd be good to have you. So the competition may not agree, but I think it'd be fun to have you back. And then you mentioned like the gamesmanship. I mean, you a couple times, let's say they're picking on you a little bit there, where you'd be running the line, and then they would all jump to the outside of you, and you kind of get left in the kind of the sucker hole, if you will. I say, was that kind of a rude awakening? Welcome back to the series. I mean, how was that for you?
Yeah, I kind of saw it developing just after the third lane would die out, and then I saw them all lined up behind me. I knew it was a matter of time before they went. I was just trying to either try to get cleared to the bottom or see if I could find a hole before they would do it, because I knew they'd do it. And when they went up, I was just pinching them as much as I could to try and at least slow down or try to stop all of them from clearing, which I did succeed, I think, twice. I think the first one, who was it? I think Seth didn't get cleared, and then that last time it was Vicente that I stopped trying to get cleared. So yeah, a little bit of gamesmanship, but nothing too terrible. But we know how they're gonna play their cards now, so we'll keep that in mind for the next race.
So it wouldn't be a super speedway racing without any, like I said, without any teamwork or team strategy. I said we see it in the real deal now, kind of almost like manufacturer, I should say, kind of loyalties there, where it's gotten kind of crazy. But man, it was a ton of fun. I say we had a blast watching you tonight. Like I said, it was fun to see you back on track and doing what you do best. And yeah, definitely would love to see you back on track here. Like I said, competition may not agree, but I say it's always fun to add more fast drivers to the series. So great job, Sebastian. I'll say we'll let you kind of, like I said, maybe wind down a little bit, as I don't know if you're used to that racing 78 laps anymore. So hopefully you're not too burned out, but great job tonight, man.
I appreciate it. No, 78 laps isn't too bad. I've been doing 190 something laps around here in other cars, so I'm not too burnt out. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast and for letting me race at such a short notice. I want to thank the Boot Knockers for letting me run with them, and I want to thank Area 51 for putting on this league. I gotta say, I really missed it being here, and this was a good, welcome back race. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, saying I'll say that was actually a test to see if you remembered about the thanks and shout outs there. Definitely didn't forget. So I say there's definitely no rust on the interviews, it looks like, either. But great job, Sebastian, man. Go enjoy this one. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you again here soon, sir.
Thank you very much.
See you later, Seabass. Be careful.
Yes, sir.
All right, Matt, we got one left to chat with. I think there's probably some donuts happening while we pull up that number 55 of Dean Wilkinson. But man, Dean, it was an eventful one for you. And I mean, I guess the story for you tonight was the caution bringing you back into the mix. Because unfortunately, after one of the pit stops, kind of lost the pack there, going for a different strategy. But man, you made the most of it. Come back, get the win tonight, and kind of put yourself right back into the mix here coming into next week's season finale.
Yeah, that caution saved my race. Without that, yeah, I had a poor pit stop, missed my pit sign, and lost some time there. And then when I came out, it just didn't have enough drivers with me to get up to the pack. So I was happy to see that caution.
Yeah, you also gained 10 points on the guys up in front of you, so you go from 23 out of the lead to 13 out of the lead with the next race to go. So obviously it's going to be close up front there. So you kind of built a little margin over 4th and 5th. So I mean, right now it's 21 points out for JD and Vicente there for tied for 4th. So I say you got an 8-point buffer behind you, 13 points you need to try to gain there. I say next week, do you just kind of run for broke, or I feel like I know you well enough. You'll probably just kind of do what you do week after week and can just let the chips fall where they may and probably not change too much. But I mean, take us through what's your thoughts going into next week?
You know what? I'm going to go for broke. Riding around at the back, just, for the beginning of the season's fine. Gain points, get up positions, get up into the playoffs, but it's more fun.
Max points.
Yeah, it's more fun up front though.
So it was definitely a lot of fun. Yes, and there was a lot of big moves with you, your teammates. I mean, it looked like I said, it seemed like the story time was that the big story was the fuel change going to the lower field to make sure that it was a 3-stop race, no fuel saving involved. And it looked like it just let you all of you guys loose tonight. I mean, it was pretty much a sprint race. It felt like from lap one.
Oh yeah, it's so much more fun when you don't have to worry about the fuel and then running in a train. That's the worst kind of racing.
So there definitely wasn't too much of that happening tonight, man. But yeah, I mean, just great job tonight. It was like I said, Matt and I were loving every moment. We were definitely getting worked up there for a little bit ourselves watching. It was a blast to watch you guys do what you do best, man. So, like I said, I mean, a great job tonight. Like I said, closed the points a bunch. So obviously, you need to get a little more next week. Probably get a little bit of a break. But I mean, that's their second win this season. I think now that's only 3 drivers that have won more than one race this season. So I'll say it's pretty good company with yourself and Gabe Butler. Yourself, Gabe Butler, and Kevin Freese. So I'll say it's pretty solid company to be in with those guys, getting multiple wins so far this season as well. So. Before we let you go celebrate with your team, definitely want to give you the floor here, though, Dean. Any thanks and shouts for that win tonight?
Well, I got to thank Brian for that push at the end. I mean, he shoved hard and didn't let up. Even though I'm not a teammate or anything, he pushed hard and got me to the win. So I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you guys for the broadcast, because again, it's always a blast to go back and watch you and Matt call this race or the races. And I'd like to thank teammates of Bad Company and TW helped me out tonight a little bit, so that was good. And all the drivers, I mean, all these drivers, again, I can't say enough. You can't have good racing with good drivers, and all these drivers are good drivers. So it's a blast to race with these guys.
Yeah, you guys made it look easy tonight. Like I said, we were up on our edge a few times of our seats, kind of just like, I don't know if they're gonna hang on to this, but you guys found a way once again to make it look easy for about 19 wild laps there after that final pit stop. So, great job, Dean. We'll get you back over with your guys to go celebrate. And say good luck the rest of the way. We'll see if you can go after them one more time here and try to snag that title away.
Thank you. See you next week, guys.
Yep, you too, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that was our winner tonight, Matt, in the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. So before we jump anywhere else, though, we got to pull up our final results for tonight's event. So let's go and do that now. So you can see where your favorite drivers finished this evening. Dean Wilkinson getting the win by 13 thousandths of a second over Sebastian Marin. Brian Wang there in third. Just 11 thousandths over Zach Workman. Then you got Eric Laurie, Robert DuPont there. Robert Rock, Gabe Butler, Randy Miner, Cody Nagels rounds out our top 10. And then Vicente Guerrero, Jimmy Crow Jr., and Peter DeBorgia, the last of our finishers that were able to stay in the main pack all the way through to the finish. Again, just a great job by all of those guys. And then unfortunately, just the luck wasn't there for Paul Turner in the Ford. Fell out of the main pack there, 12 seconds back. Still gets a 14th. And then, unfortunately, I said the tough nights for Seth Gruver, Bud Steele, Robert Jordan there, all a lap down, 15 through 17. JD Crow got the lap he needed. We talked about commentator's curse. We pulled him in for a chat, and then he had a penalty later on. So I think the commentator's curse continues. So JD, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it. I was trying to be nice and give you some attention and kind of talk about some of the stuff that was going on, but didn't mean for that to happen there for you, bud. He finishes in 18th. And unfortunately, just a few more drivers with early retirements tonight. Jay Hilliard there, we mentioned that contact he had, retired early, 28 laps down. Then Bob Fitzgerald, I think some either hardware or software or some sort of issues in that 08, also early retirement there, 49 down. So in the 20th position. But Matt, that's 11 down, man. We've got one more to go back here again next week at Talladega. And right now, like I said, it's 2 points now between.
Wow, yeah. I was getting ready to say, because Gabe had a clean race, and he did not finish very well where Zach Workman did. So it's going to be a fight to the last race. I'm excited.
Yeah, only 2 points difference between the 1 and the 18 going to the finale again. And 13 back is Dean Wilkinson. Again, he gained 10 points after tonight, so he'll need some help. But, I mean, it definitely is not something that is not it's definitely something that can be done still, so watch for that 55. And then, yeah, it's going to be definitely a longer shot for JD and Vicente now, 21 out. Unfortunately, this was the exact opposite of what JD was looking for, because without this 18th place finish, he is right in the thick of it as well. So, unfortunately for JD, probably a little bit too far out. And then I think at this point, you can probably say the same for Robert DuPont, Randy Minor, and of course Cody Nagels as well, missing last week's race. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. Matt, as always, man, it's a pleasure doing these with you. And again, we've got a few more races to go. This is going to kick off our second to last races of the season before we get to the season finales in 1 week's time. So we'll be back in 2 nights' time on Tuesday night for the Dark Horse Area 51 IndyCar Series, and then back to the Super Speedways with the trucks here with the Area 51 Super Speedway Truck Series. So until next time, hope you all have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, take care, and have a good night. We'll see you all on Tuesday.